Alright, what is up everybody? ADS Play 101 here, World Warriors Collective, and I want to welcome you guys to my final vlog of 2019. This is the final vlog video. I'm pretty sure I may do like some other videos as well, but this is going to be the final vlog of 2019, and I'm addressing everything. I'm talking about everything that's happened this past year, as well as what the plans are going into 2020. Normally I do these around the end of the year, like my year-end videos, and you know, I think, and I didn't really felt like I wanted to do this one this year, but I think I'm an honorable guy at heart, and anytime I feel like there's a need to do something honorable as far as mentioning some things, especially when I got to address the public like the way I am now. Nothing controversial or anything like that, but just to give credit where credit is due. I'm gonna do it, and I'm not too proud to do that. You know, instinctively I want to do it anyway. So 2019 has been a very roller coaster ride for me, because it's been a lot of nonsense that has happened, especially earlier this year, as far as me having to move, which I'm going to get into detail about in its entirety. You know, moving into where I am now, you know, making new friends, family moving to different parts of the country, and it's just been like a roller coaster ride. And towards the end of this year, I think I finally got myself in a sound place to where I can finally feel comfortable going into the next year without any worry. So the first thing I want to say is the beginning of this year it started off at an all-time high, then it just hit like a quick decline. Like in January, everything was going good, then all of a sudden it just hit like a down slope, come February. So to explain what I'm talking about, some of you guys know that I had lived with family members in another house not too far from where I am right now, and unfortunately I had to deal with a lot of we had to deal with some shady renters, some shady landlords at that old place, and it was a problem all around. So, but the problem that really stuck out and what made us have to move was that the landlord tried, in the area that we live in, unfortunately, there's no rent control. I mean, now in the area I see a lot of, advertisements for like, they're trying to make laws for rent control and trying to get people to come out and vote, which is kind of like, for the people who was affected by this, because a lot of people around the area, they're losing their homes because they can't afford to pay this increasingly ridiculous increase in rent that the landlords are doing. And a lot of people, supposedly a lot of people have lost their homes and lost places to stay due to the fact of, the rent is just kind of like going it's just increased out of nowhere. And in our particular case, the landlord had tried to raise the rent on us like 3 times within that previous year. Now, in 2018, I'm talking about. So in 2018, well, when we first moved into that house as a family, the rent was $2,500. It was a $2,500 plus a $1,500 security deposit. No, excuse me, a $5,000 security deposit. Let me say that. But being that we were we just moved in there. The landlord kind of made a deal with us and worked with us on paying off the security deposit little by little. As long as we had the rent, we could stay there. Of course, it was kind of turbulent, but over time we actually did get the rent, get the security deposit paid off, and then the rent was, it was fine. So this is all at the beginning of the year 2018, and I would say around the summer, coming closer towards the summer of 2018, all of a sudden out of nowhere, like the landlord, like she wanted to do another rent increase. It went from $2,500 to I think to $2,700. which was fine. It was still manageable for us. We already got the rent deposit, we already got the security deposit out the way, and we was making it work. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because the property value of the area had went up, because this is like a prime area. Everything is really within arm reach. Well, at the time, we had a movie theater that was close by. There's like multiple restaurants within like walking distance. You have a doctor's office right there. You have a nail shop right there for the ladies that want to get their nails did. There's a Walmart literally right up the street. You got a Home Depot just a short. You know what I mean? This is just a prime location for anything you want to do. There's 2 gyms within like a short distance. There's a Rite Aid right there. There's a CVS not too far down from that. You got a Whole Foods store right there. There's a golf club. You know what I mean? There's a golf club right there. There's just plenty of things to do. So this is a prime location. So it's only natural that, of course, once the property value goes up, the rent is going to go up as well. But seeing as how the rent was, already raised just like a month or so prior, I don't even think it was a full month before she came back and mentioned that we was going to have to do another rent increase. So it already went from $2,500 to $2,700, but then she wanted to increase it from $2,700 to, I believe, $3,000. If any of my family members watching this later on, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what it was. And I think it actually probably would have been more than that. I think it was like going from $2,700 to like $3,500. I don't know, but it was like some ridiculous demand, and considering that it was already raised prior, it was like, dang, you're not even giving us any chance to adapt to the new rent that you just raised us on. So, of course, we had to put our foot down, and we basically had to threaten to lawyer up, and we had to lawyer up. Because on top of the fact that being unfair, that's kind of like an illegal practice, but because there's no rent control in the area, people feel like they can just do whatever they want and there's not going to be any backlash. And the fact that they were so comfortable with doing that, I'm pretty sure they got away with doing it to some people who could afford to do it, but it was just like, it's just the principle of it at the end of the day. Like, you don't just do that to people. So after, I guess like the lawyer threats and everything like that, she stopped and she kept the rent down to $2,700 all the way up until I think 2019, February 2019. Well, not even February, it was January. So my cousin, whose name was on the lease, after my sister moved out, because they had the name on their lease together. After my sister moved out, my cousin, her name was the main one on the lease. As the I guess as the rent lease contract, owner, or whatever the name I want to go about, y'all guys are gonna know because my mind is kind of everywhere right now. But yeah, like her name, it was like the main one, like she's like the owner of the lease, So she got a call from like the landlord lady. And I guess they had a discussion where I guess the landlord had, made a statement where she was raising the rent up indefinitely to, I think, $4,000. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if it was $3,500 or if it was $4,000. I think it was $4,000. And again, this is jumping up from $2,700. So I'm not even mentioning all the things in between. Let me turn this down just in case this is too loud. I don't know if it is or not. Just turn it down slightly. But you got to understand, when we first moved into that house, there was many problems with it. The toilets were leaking. Some of the fans in the bathroom weren't working. Like the vents in the bathroom, a couple of them wasn't working the way they were supposed to. They had a couple brown spots in the carpet that weren't cleaned properly. And it was just a bunch of things that was wrong that you didn't really want in a new house. But in the grand scheme of things, it was kind of like, my cousin and my sister, they wanted to come together in one household to try to make things cheaper. It didn't really work out like that, which I kind of, in the back of my head, I knew. But oh, and forgive me if you hear the roommates. Their family is over, so you might hear them in the background. But yeah, they were just, I guess, hell bent on moving everybody into one house because everybody was always coming to other people's houses and things like that. And why not, idealistically, why not try to get everybody under one roof to kind of make things cheaper if that's what can be done? So they did that. And when we moved there, of course, all the aforementioned problems and a lot more. It was just an issue that, nobody should have to deal with moving into a new house. So we tolerated it, along with everything else that was coming away. We didn't really have too much of a choice at that point. It was in close proximity to everybody else's job. Like, it was just like a good move. So we could have dealt with getting the carpet cleaned and getting the toilets fixed and things like that. But it was still kind of bad considering that, it was the security deposit was so high, but there was all these problems. And not to mention there was some drawers in the kitchen. Like, they didn't have the right rails for the drawers in the kitchen. So anytime you would push the drawer in, it would kind of like tilt. Like, it was just like a bunch of issues that shouldn't have been present. They had like scratches on the wall that they had to come and fix like a year prior. All this stuff got fixed like a year later after we moved in there. That's the funny part. So to know all of that, and then you're increasing the rent on us, to that point, it was just a headache, dude, to deal with that. So I think the logical thing, she just decided to, leave and end the contract with him. But what the idea was going to be was that, and this is how you knew she just wanted us out of there. I don't know if it was us because we were black. I don't like playing that card, but it was just like something funny about that whole thing, or if she just wanted to raise the rent. But it was a funny situation going on, and she did what she did, basically let us know she wanted us out of there. So when my cousin decided she wanted to end the contract with her, she decided that, maybe we can take on the contract. It was me, my cousin, which was, her daughter, and two other people that were staying with us at the time. So it was four of us. And we was going to take on the new contract. Now, the thing is this. We was asking, since when we first moved in there, is it possible for us to, do like, the security deposit little by little like we did last time? And she wouldn't work with us on that. So what was suggested by my cousin was that, the security, since the security deposit is already there, you could just keep that, for us, and we could just pay her back little by little. And that way, you're not tied up. You already have the security deposit. They can pay the rent and they can pay us back little by, you know what I mean? That was what we had suggested. She was like, no, that sounds too complicated, and you know what I mean? It's like, which, we're paying back family members. It's not like we're holding out on you. You already have the $5,000. Just keep that there for us, and we just pay back her month by month until the $5,000 is paid off. That way, you still have the $5,000 already for the security deposit, and she'll be the one getting paid back. And it's not like we're not going to pay back our family member, you know what I mean? Because all of us were working, we definitely had the means to do it. It's just that to pay a full $5,000 up front for a new lease, that was kind of like the difficult part, because we just got over that hump a year prior. So that being said, she just said she basically kept not wanting to work with us at that point, because her whole goal was to move us out to get new people in so that she could start them off at the astronomical rent price that she wanted to try to increase it also on. So I think the rent went up to like $4,000. Like I said, I could be wrong. It could have been $3,500. Could have been $3,500. But I think she jumped it up to like $4,000 from $2,700, from the original $2,700 after the $2,500 that we initially had. So to ask somebody that's paying $2,700 to pay almost half, almost like double of what we were originally paid. That's kind of like, that's crazy. So we all decided to go our separate ways with that because it didn't make any sense. And plus she was being unreasonable with all the problems of the house and how long she took to come fix all those things, you know, not to mention that the carpets had to get cleaned and all that. Of course we did that. It was just like a bunch of nonsense. So, you know, that was a headache. So when that ended and everybody moved out, I, you know, moved over here, which is like just a short walk from where I originally stayed. It was kind of turbulent here at first because, again, I'm just now coming out of that situation. I had a little money saved up. Luckily, it was almost enough to take care of this. You know, moving into here, because my rent here is $800 a month. You know, I'm roommating with people, and my share of the rent is $800 a month, which I can manage very well. And the homeowner, you know, which you probably just heard him, that was him. You know, we're in the video games and things like that, so it was fairly easy for us to like kind of connect on that level. And you know, he wanted me to move in, opposed from the other guys that were, I guess, trying to get the room as well. So when I first moved in, things were very turbulent for like the first couple months. You know, he allowed me to be like a little late on the rent, you know, knowing that I was making that transition from the last house into here, and I had to pay back, you know, a little bit of money to other people as well, because again, I only had so much money because that happened out of nowhere and we had to move like immediately. So we had to gut the entire house out over there for like in like 3 weeks because we had to move out by February. So it was just like a big hassle, man. And I'm just fortunate enough that this guy was level-headed enough, I guess, and had a heart to understand what my situation was, and he let me, you know, ride out that turbulent wave. He worked with me, of course, and you know, things are good now, you know. So that's one thing I'm very thankful for this year, is to have level-headed people like that in this world. So thank you to him. I don't want to say his name on stream for whatever reason, for many reasons, because the internet is weird and I don't want to, you know, put him out there like that, but I'm pretty sure he's going to see it later. So thank him for being patient with me, because everything's been smooth from like what, March? No, I'll say March. I don't know, like I think things started to balance out around May, where things, you know, were good. So I'm just happy everything worked out for everybody. So yeah, that was that, because during that time when I was like, I almost became this close to being homeless. Like, again, my family members are gone. I don't have anybody to like turn to or rely on, and I was basically asked out. It was times when my rent was short, and I gotta think 3 people in particular. I can't remember all y'all names, but the 3 you guys, you know, I'm pretty sure you can go back and you can find that live stream where I was. Here's the thing about me. I'm a very prideful person. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy the thought of working for my dollar. You know, I don't really have a easy time, you know, and that's putting it lightly. I don't have an easy time at all asking for donations. I just don't. And I don't, at the few times I had to do it, you know, I really don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those people, I just don't like doing that. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoy the thought of working for my dollar, or, you know, selling a product, you know, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, or just something of that nature. I just don't want to have handouts like that. You know what I mean? If people want to donate to, you know, like during live streams when I'm playing video games, I don't know what that entertainment is doing for you, but if that causes you to want to donate to the channel and help me maintain myself and get new equipment and things like that, so be it. You know, I'll accept it under those terms, but just to give me for nothing, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different like that. So So yeah, but it was a time when I was literally at my wit's end. I didn't have anything to do, and three big blessings came my way that absolutely balanced me. It was just enough to where I was like, I think a few $100 short of the rent. And it, again, he was working with me, but since things were kind of turbulent, I guess I was on my final straw. To the point where he had to print up a contract and said I had to make these payments, by these times, and I agreed to it because I felt like I could do it, and I did. But that final time was such a damn stretch, dude. I had to do those three guys that I think it was like two guys and a girl. I think it was A-Box, or I think it was Able Box, it was Shaq Chasm, and it was somebody else from. It was a girl. She had kind of like a Chinese name, but she donated like 100. Somebody else donated 50, and another person donated 25. And when I tell you that was more than enough than what I needed in order to get, you know what I mean, that last rent taken care of. And it was literally like hours away from me being homeless. And when I tell you, you guys came through for me, that was such a humbling experience. And I will never, ever forget that, man. So thank you guys so much for rocking with me and doing that for me and making sure I have, everything maintained and, have that taken care of to where I can maintain myself to where I am now going into 2020, because that was just a big, big blessing. So once that got taken care of, everything else was pretty much smooth sailing from there. Rent was coming on time, nonstop. I was able to maintain myself with food, clothing, and I was even able to focus on my clothing line, which, I do have some pieces right here. So what you're seeing right here at the bottom, the bottom left of my screen, I don't know if it's bottom right on yours or anything like that. I don't have it flipped, but you know how the internet is and how sometimes OBS acts weird. But it's at the bottom right of my screen, excuse me. This is my Instagram. Now, on my Instagram, you guys can come here. That's the Instagram right there, World Warriors Collective. Follow me on there. I need to get the follows up. This is where I post anything, sometimes video game related, but mostly having to do with the clothing line. And you might find some other random videos on there. But this is my clothing line. Of course, I did some trips to some conventions. But yeah, I have my shoes, all the shoes and things of that nature. The shirts, the shoes, the bandanas, all that. I post on there any type of clothing updates or any clothing related videos primarily. And anything clothing related primarily is what's going to be posted on there, with the exception of a few other videos that may not have anything to do with clothing or video games or anything like that, just to be fun and keep things fresh here and there. So the clothing line, World Warriors Collective, this has been my baby since 2011. It started off as a Facebook group that I wanted to use to kind of unify people from all over the world that had a love for video games and wanting to just come together and just showcase their talents amongst one another. And I have everything from t-shirts. You guys have the links to the Teespring stores at The Collective and at Global Collective Collection. Those two Teespring stores. But as far as like everything else, like you can find this shirt right here. This is my Alias shirt. This is just one of many shirts I have on there, by the way. My Alias shirt, you see, got Universal Battle Group, Global Fighting Unit, World Warriors Collective. And on the back of it, you see the logo with the date. Again, this is just one shirt of many. that I have on there. So you guys go in there and check it out. The shirts are available on Teespring. Now, as far as everything else, like the shoes, the varsity jackets, and the bandanas, which you see right here, is one of my bandanas right here. Well, bandana. Right there. This is for $20. The bandanas are for $20 right there. I'm gonna tell you how you can purchase these in a minute. So the bandana goes for $20. Again, forgive me if you hear the roommates in the back. This is the varsity jacket right here. I'm gonna turn it around. You see right here, they have the logo on the back. Right there. Can you see it that good? I can't even get it up that good. Let's see this. Right there you go. There's the logo on the back. And where's the side? And on the front, there's World Warriors Collective right there. Of course, my particular jacket has like my name on it right there, but you probably can't see it that good. But yeah, that's World War. And this right here comes in multiple colors. I think I have it on here. Yeah, right here. Purple. I got purple, I got gray. Purple, gray, black, navy blue. Gray, light blue, navy blue. Those are the colors that the jackets come in. And of course the shoes, let me scroll down to that, because the shoes are like the biggest thing, because I've been working on these shoes for like a whole year and some change. So let me tell you about these shoes. Now the shoes, they're supposed to go with the Global Collective Collection shirts. And I ordered some samples. Well, I ordered a sample, one to test to see how long it took to get to me. That way I can give you an estimated time and date as to when you guys, from when you order the shoes to when you can actually expect to put them in arrive. So these are the shoes right here. They come in a variety of sizes, of course. See right there, let me get that out the way. World Warriors Collective right there, the logo on the other side. There you go. Right there. Yeah. I think they're pretty good. The shoes are going for $130 and the varsity jackets are going for $60. So the only way to get, so again, the Teespring store is the only way to get the shirts. That's where I'm selling them at. You guys can get them on there. And as far as the shoes, the bandanas, the varsity jackets, and possibly almost anything else that isn't a shirt, until I can get my own store, the only way you can purchase these is through, you can hit me up in my Instagram DMs and you can follow me on there. I actually have a video on there describing how you guys can pay for this stuff or how you can order them yourself. I think this is the video right here. Right there. You can hit me up through Cash App, Venmo, of course my PayPal right there. And send a message with your payment saying what size and what style of varsity jacket or shoes you want. I have the name of the products on the Instagram as well, so you guys don't have to worry about not knowing what to tell me. So this is what I have been working towards for like quite some time, and as far as like going into the future when it comes to like receiving money from you guys or getting donations, I would feel much more comfortable if you guys just bought like merch and things like that, because that way I know you're getting something in return for your money. You know, I mean, if you guys want to donate, you know, just do that, you know, no problem. But if you want to, you know, it'll make me feel more comfortable knowing that this is getting, you know, getting paid for, you know, because this whole brand of World Warriors Collective means so much. Even when you look at the logo, everything down from the logo itself to the colors used, it represents something. You know, the purple and gray, that represents balance and unity, and of course the world, that represents opportunity and talent, and you know, and together, you know, as a collective, we smile together. As a collective, we smile. So that's the reason why the collective is like, you know, like the mouth smiling, holding the world, opportunity, talent, balance, and unity. Of course, all that, you know, that's basically what this brand represents. And as a person that plays video games myself, we don't have a clothing line that really represents us as a community of people that love playing video games. And this is kind of what this is for. You know, this is kind of our clothing line. This is kind of our signature. This is kind of our thing. So I feel good because I don't think, you know, and this is no shots to him. This is no shade thrown at him. You know, with Daigo, Justin Wong, K-Brad, Filipino Champ, and all these other more, you know, Sonic Fox, Punk the God, you know, all these guys that are famous within the FGC and in the fighting game tournament scene. None of these guys actually try to sell merch. You know, to a smaller extent, they'll probably try to sell like a hat or like a shirt or something, but none of them really go into trying to sell their merchandise, you know, like shoes or bandanas and things like that. And even then, it's just representing them as an individual. They don't have anything that represents everybody as a whole, and that's kind of what I'm doing, you know. Because that way, when I do get myself in the FGC, because I do plan on joining a lot of tournaments in 2000, or as many as I could possibly join in 2020, I'm going to be rocking these at every tournament I can get to. So at every convention and what have you, I'm going to be rocking this logo. Because I want this to be seen, and I want it to, you know, I want to promote it. And another goal of mine in 2020 is to be able to profit at least $1,800 to $2,000 from this, because I feel like this is a brand that a lot of people will get behind, but unfortunately I'm underneath a glass ceiling right now where a lot of people just don't know that I exist to want to support it. I think once we get the ball rolling on this, it's going to be something promising. But until then, you know, I'm kind of just like struggling, trying to promote and get the brand out there, and trying to get people to understand why they should, you know, purchase my products and purchase the shoes, the shirts, and the bandanas, and the hats are going to be coming soon as well. So it's just one of those things that I have to keep working towards. And in 2020, that's going to be my goal, is to become financially stable through this, to where I can make at the very least no less than $1,800 a month, you know, because that's going to be enough to cover my rent, and I can, you know, maintain myself throughout the month with that $1,000, because I don't really spend money on nothing as it is. So that $1,000 can go a long way, and not to mention it'll also help me go to tournaments and other things, conventions, and maybe even set up some meet and greets somewhere, or maybe even get a table at one of these conventions and, you know, talk to you guys. You know, that'll be something cool I think I can do. So yeah, hopefully that, you know, with all my hard work and with the plans I have set in motion, and the plans I have, you know, conjuring up in my mind, hopefully I'll be able to make those changes come 2020, because I really want to make this happen. I think somebody in my position that has these products for sale and things like that. Ultimately, their goal is to make sure that they don't have to clock in at a 9 to 5 anymore. You know, dealing with, you know, stressful bosses and, you know, overzealous customers and, you know, a lot of back-breaking work, which is fine if you're okay with that, but I think somebody in my position should be working towards that, you know. So that's another plan for 2020. Another thing is that I want to live stream more often and longer in 2020 and play a lot more rank mode and quit being so hesitant just because you might run into a couple laggy people. Don't be afraid to lose your ranks and, you know, earn them back and things like that. I want to be more consistent with that. But here's the thing. As long as I am working, I have to put myself in a position to where I can live stream more often. Of course, if I can get that to happen, as far as making $1,800 to $2,000 a month from the clothing sales and the shoe sales and the shirt sales and things like that, then yeah, absolutely, I can make that happen. Because that way I can still be able to make money to provide for myself and take care of the things necessary, as well as have money left over for other things that I can do, but also so I can have more time to dedicate to live streaming and to, you know, providing that content for you guys and things of that like that. That way I can have more fun on stream and stream longer and have more interactive streams with you guys. That way I can finally make a set schedule, because as of right now, I'm at the mercy of whenever I'm off from work, because I work night crew at a local grocery store. I work night crew, and the way I have to treat it, like on schedule, if it says that I'm off Wednesday, which I actually am, if I'm off Wednesday, which is tomorrow, at the time of me recording this video, it's currently Tuesday, but tomorrow is going to be Wednesday, which is the first, which is New Year. On schedule, it says I'm off on Wednesday, but because I'm off on Wednesday and I work night crew, I work at 12 o'clock in the morning. That's my schedule. So the way it's set up, the way I got to look at it is that when I get off work that Tuesday, which is 8:30 in the morning, which was, you know, this morning, I have to treat the rest of this day as my day off, because I don't go in that night. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I got to treat it. So, but I'll be so tired when I get home from work that I have to sleep, you know what I mean, in order to get my energy back so that I can, like, you see what I mean? It's kind of like a catch-22. Yeah, I don't have to deal with customers and things like that, and I can just work and make my money and come home. But it's just one of those things where I want to feel good about providing content, quality products to you guys, and making World Warriors Collective a brand that people, especially within the gaming community, to support me. You know, like, I want that to be a brand that people to, you know, really buy into and see that it's something worth investing in. You know, it'll be cool that if I was, you know, at a tournament and I seen like a sea of World Warriors Collective gear in the crowd. I think that'd be so dope if I can make that happen, man. That'd be so cool. But I gotta make my name known and get to these fighting game tournaments. You know, find out a way how I can make that happen. So ultimately my goal is to become financially stable through the sale of the merchandise and, you know, quit my 9 to 5 so that I can spend more time with you guys. Last but not least, hardware. You know, another thing that I forgot to mention, and I'm thinking about it right now, is one of the things that kind of hurt me this year, again, when I talked about the downslope, and I'm glad I thought this up because this is like kind of like the final thing that kind of like hurt me, was when I got my tax, my income tax came in, it kind of hurt me because it was just enough money for me to get a new laptop, a new gaming laptop at that, so that I can finally live stream better and not have to worry about the crashes and my laptop overheating, because this laptop is old as hell. It's breaking apart. I have to put a desk fan underneath it just to keep it cool enough to where it'll operate properly. That's how messed up it is. And even with that, it still kind of overheats and it crashes and what have you. And it's just bad. And forgive me if I sound nasally. It is what it is with that. But yeah, I guess we can close. Well, no, I'm going to leave it open. But yeah, it's one of those situations where it's just unfortunate. Let me open this up. I think it's all right if I open this. This is like the shoes right here. You can close that. I'll open this up a little bit more so you guys can get a good look at the shoes. And then this is the name of the shoes. So if you ever hit me up about the shoes on Instagram, these are the names of them right here. Just give me the size and the name of them. And yeah. But yeah, man, it was my federal income tax was more than enough for me to buy a new laptop. And unfortunately, anytime something good happens to me, something bad happens, which I don't think I'm gonna have that problem again, because I don't have that negative feeling like I once did that something bad is gonna happen. I had some leftover student loans from an old school that I went to, and I think it was like, I finally got all those paid off this year, so I'm not gonna have that problem of them taking my whole income tax. But yeah, because of that whole income tax got taken. The federal and the state, they just took everything, man. And that hurt my feelings, because in 2018 I could have, had my gaming laptop then, but of course negative things happened, had to spend money on other things, of course. And then this year it happened, federal just took everything I had. It was just nonsense, man. So this year, 2020, I'm really trying to focus on becoming an independent with the World Warriors Collective and becoming more of a known name within live streaming, as well as in the FGC. Hopefully I can make that happen. It's a tall order, but I can do it. Becoming financially stable through the World Warriors Collective merch, making at least $1,800 to $2,000 per month so that I can maintain myself and take care of everything else I need to take care of, while having disposable income to go to conventions and other things like that of that nature, and travel, do meet and greets possibly, but definitely go to conventions and participate in whatever tournament and getting the World Warriors Collective name out there more and more. So that's basically everything, man. And I appreciate you guys 1,000%. And another thing, a little funny thing, I went to my old YouTube channel, and the subscribers are going up on the original ADS Play 101 channel, man. And it's kind of funny because I did such a variety of content that I thought people were getting confused as to what I currently was doing, which is why I started World Warriors Collective to begin with, to give it more of a clear decision, or more of a clear visual as to what I'm currently doing now. But it's like people miss me on that old channel. So every now and then, especially throughout 2020, I'm going to upload there periodically, just to try to get people to migrate back over to this new channel and get hip to what I'm currently doing, and hopefully to get that support that's on there over here permanently. So yeah, so that's basically everything, man. So 2020 is definitely looking very promising. I know I'm going into 2020 with a clear vision. See what I did there? Definitely getting new glasses. But yeah, man, I'm definitely going to be focused on making everything I mentioned happen, and as you can see, I already started with the new equipment. I got the new webcams, I got 2 of these, so whenever I do video game playthroughs, you guys can actually see me, and it won't be that fuzzy camera that I have on my laptop, which isn't good at all. But yeah, man, so that's everything I have planned. You know, getting the gaming laptop I need, maintaining myself through the World Warriors Collective merch, and quitting my 9 to 5. As long as I can make $1,800 to $2,000 consistently through the merch sales, and any other means I can make money to maintain myself. Become more interactive with you guys, live stream more, playing rank in most of these fighters. And I'm playing rank mode more often. Don't be afraid of rank mode just because you might run into a couple laggy people. And be more transparent with you guys about everything. You know, it wasn't nothing that I hid. I was always transparent, but to continuously be more transparent with you guys in the coming year. That way it's not like, oh, he's not live streaming what's going on. You know, you guys will be able to deal with me on a more personal level and connect with me more. And I think once that happened, more and more people will join World Warriors Collective and start riding with me, and hopefully getting this off the ground to where it's supposed to be, or to where I know it can be. So with that being said, man, thank you guys very much. Happy New Year, Collective 2020. You know, let's get this year off right, and let's go into the year with a clear conscience, a clear vision, and a clear plan to better ourselves. You know, change is good if only you don't have to change what's good. You know, that's deep. So you guys think about that one going into the new year. Say your prayers, eat healthy, get right, and remember, always be humble in victory, be gracious in defeat, but show no mercy in battle. World Warriors Collective. Love you guys. See you in 2020.